Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's, welcome back to another episode of Reckless Gaming. Today I'm going to be showcasing my new UB deck. Got some pretty sick pulls on the recent banner, and I have a special guest that was gracious enough to let me post this video. So I want to give a quick shout out to Deladris Gaming. Get over and check out his Instagram page. It's got a lot of great Pokemon Duel content, some really good stuff. So get over there, drop him a like, give him a follow. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Alright, so let's get into let's see. So I've really been liking this UB deck, but I'm kind of seeing what everybody's been saying about how unpredictable and everything they can be. But when they're on, they're really, really on. So this is a good testament to that. So, all right, so we're going up against Deladris, who's got Sceptile, Poliwrath, Zapdos, Zoroark, Yveltal, and Tapu Koko. So he opens with his Koko, I open with mine. Sceptile comes out. I bring out Xurkitree. It's probably my favorite UB so far. He's just a beast, so... Alright, so our Koko goes down. And we get a wait on that, so I bring out Pheromosa. His Koko advances. I bring out the Guzz, and he makes a swift move over, threatens the goal. There wasn't really much I could do here, so I went ahead after, and actually, he gets the KO, but gets frozen, because otherwise that would have been the game, honestly. So I bring in my Xurkitree. He brings back a Sceptile to thaw out Zoro. And I do a goal block on Guzzlord. Now, I'm not worried about really getting surrounded by the Koko. So we got a DC coming in on Guzzlord. And I get the Dragon Tail, which actually gets rid of us both. Thank God. So Xurkitree coming across, going after Sceptile. Very risky move here because of stealth hit, but it ended up working out good. So Koko comes up, takes our entry point, and I go ahead and bring in my Koko, surround the goal there so he can't move in. Zapdos coming on the field, so I bring out my Ampharos. Ampharos is a really, really good figure too. So Zoroark coming back out. And I decide to go ahead and Mega Evolve. So when Mega Ampharos evolves, he brings in a Pokemon from the PC or the Ultra Space to the field, which is awesome. So I go after the Zap, he makes the Zoro switch, and I take the hit. Or I get the KO. So he spun Night Days, which actually is going to make both or all attacks a miss on the next duel. Not the next turn, but the next duel, which is basically like a death sentence. I mean, look at that. That is just freaking unbelievable. So Poliwrath comes in, gets the punch, KOs the Ampharos. Now when Ampharos dies or gets knocked out, he allows another Pokemon to come in from the PC. So I brought in the Guzz, which is just crazy. Mega Ampharos is a beast. Unfortunately, you only get to use him once, but that's just how it goes. So, Zapdos coming up, going after Pheromosa, and he gets the KO, but I slap a -1 MP marker on him because of low sweep. I bring over the Guzz just to take defensive, and Poliwrath comes after Guzz. So I get the KO here, but then get confused because of Poliwrath's ability, which is ridiculous. Confusion is one of the most difficult things to deal with. So I go after his Yveltal with Nihilego, and I get the Spit Poison, so he's now on a wait. Now, I really wanted to do the Guzz switch, but his Sceptile was threatening, so I decided not to. And I luckily get the Dragon Tail, which originally spun a miss. And I get Spit Poison again on his Sceptile, so I'm in a good spot here now. It's my turn, and I'm going to use Guzz to go ahead and banish that Sceptile. Alright, so Zap coming over after Coco, and I get Melee Wish, decide not to use it, and advance with the Guzzlord. So he max revives his Zoroark, which is probably a good choice. Zoro gets the cross counter, which is such an annoying move. Very little leeway to take out Zoro when he spins cross counter. So I decide to go ahead and switch Nihilego for Xurkitree, just because my Zerk is my OP attacker right now. So I spin Zap Cannon, but Zap gets Roost and goes on a wait. So Yveltal coming up on the left side, bringing out Ampharos in defensive position. And I decide to attack, or he decides to attack, and spins purple. So now my Zerg's going to go after his Zap. I spin Ultra Lightning, which allows me to spin another Pokemon, and if they spin white, they get paralyzed and a wait because of their paralyze. So he's coming after Coco again, and I luckily spin gold on his Thunder Charge on his purple, so that was very lucky for me, thankfully. So I decided to go after his Coco with my Zerk, and he spins Melee this time. So he advances with Zoro, goes after the Xurkitree, and I get the KO. So Cable Lash does 2 times damage if the opponent is paralyzed, which is just bonkers. But he hit me with Night Daze, so now all my attacks are going to miss during the next battle. I decide to move over and go ahead and force that against Coco, hoping that he spun blue, but unfortunately he didn't. And I get knocked out. So Poliwrath advances, but doesn't attack, which is okay. So I'm going to go after him with Ampharos, and I get the KO. But now I'm confused. We go back and forth like this. I mean, I think it goes up. The duel is a sort of a long one. So Nihilego taking the goal, his Zapdos coming in, and I decide to scoop up my Ampharos to get rid of the confusion, put him back out on the field ready to go. Yveltal taking my entry point, so Ampharos goes after the Coco, which is a pretty good matchup for me, and I get the KO there. Alright, so now I've got a free spot. Zapdos moving over, and Pheromosa coming in now with 3 MP because we've got a Pokemon, his Sceptile, in the Ultra Space. So Pheromosa going after Zoroark, which is a decent matchup, and I spin Call Signal. Zoroark moving over towards the goal. Not really sure why he made that move, but I decide to advance and go after Zapdos, and I spin Call Signal again. So Zap coming out for Ampharos, and he gets the KO. So Guzzlord coming out of the PC. Ampharos, I decide Pheromosa to go ahead and move over and go after Zoroark. I was hoping that that would have been a KO there, threatening the game. But I spun a dodge instead. Zapdos advancing and taking my entry point, so I decide to go after. I'm like, screw it. And lucky for me, I get the Ice Beam on his Sucker Punch. So he decides to Gold Block. I'm sure he was praising Arceus that he had one. So I would decide to go after the Zap to no avail. Poliwrath coming in, going after Pheromosa. And, ooh, gosh, that would have been nice. I take the Confusion and decide to go ahead and use my Max Revive on my Xurkitree and start advancing with him. So Poliwrath coming over to defend, and I'm going to defend with the Guzz. Poliwrath advance and going after Xurkitree, and I get the KO there, but now I'm confused, which is not the best status effect you want on Xurkitree, so I decide to advance, and his Tapu Koko comes in, but doesn't attack, so I go ahead and decide it's safe to bring in my Koko, start putting some pressure on him, and so Xurkitree coming over, I decide to attack because I'm in a good place, in case I get knocked out, which I do. So he pinches me with Yveltal, freeing up Ampharos, so I decide to go after his Zapdos, which I spin a dodge. So his Yveltal coming over, and my Ampharos is coming in. He's going to put pressure on Neoligo, which I spit poison, so we mulligan there, 2-star purple. So I advance and go after his Koko, which I get the KO. RNG has been very good to me lately. I've been pulling out some really good wins in league play. So confused Pheromosa lets his Thunder Charge come in. So I advance with Ampharos, and he brings in Zoro. So I really need to survive here. And I get the sliver of a miss. So Xurkitree coming out of the PC, I decide to go ahead and go after Zapdos, which I get the KO. He spins Steel Wing, which I spin all the time. So he's got no choice but to move over to the goal, and I have no choice but to just go after it. So, oh my gosh, I get the KO, the 101, which is exactly where you need to be if you're going to take down Zoroark. Poliwrath coming in, and I spin Beacon Light. Thank goodness. I get the Confusion, but it doesn't matter because I'm on the goal. Deladris, it was a very good game, and thank you very much for permission to showcase this duel. And I hope that maybe we can do some more collaborations in the future. All right, thanks guys for watching. We'll see you later.